Hello, everybody. My name is Bright Rose, and welcome back for the first time in what has been quite a long time, quite honestly, to the RelaxedCraft server. And wait, wait. Hi, no, I'm down here. This is just a statue. Yeah, we've got the strawman mod on the server now, as well as the armor posing one. So we can make colossal statues of ourselves, and more importantly, giant statues of 40k figures and armor, like we see in the Darktide game, and things like that, because that's what we can do now. But that's not what we're doing right now. What we're doing right now is we are doing the dreaded recap episode. So with shaders enabled and a few dynamic lighting tweaks, let's have a tour of what we've done so far in the Hive City. Starting from the most recent, going on to the first things we did, and then looking at what we are going to do next. And, well, this is the last thing we did. Ignore the beacon. I haven't moved it yet. This is the welcome area, the introduction, the beginnings of the main walk through the city. And it's the last thing we did. We've got a few little additions that we need to do. I want to make this into a nice little market area, so we need a couple of stalls and things like that dotted around the area. But this big building behind us, it hides the main nether portal up onto the nether roof. And I do need to put a little bit of an interior in there, I will admit. Although I haven't really been on this server for, a while, because I've been elsewhere doing other Minecrafty projects, as you might have seen before on the channel. But this area has come on leaps and bounds from the villager prison it was for quite a long time. Having the shaders and dynamic lighting on does add a certain wonderful element where you can see these shafts of light coming through the various little holes up in the roof that I haven't yet bothered to fully fill in yet, mainly because they're very difficult to get to. But it does make me think that maybe we could keep some of these little specks of light coming down through the roof and do it from different angles as well, because frankly they're just kind of beautiful. But we're getting distracted. Let's go and have a look at the torrent, and of course ignoring the shulker monsters that is backed up behind this tank here. This area I am so happy with. It came out really well. The darkness that we've got here going on, it works perfectly for what I was aiming for. We've got the Imperial chicken there up on the wall. I might look at that again. I think I can probably do a little better with it, but honestly, it gets across exactly what I was going for. It's about as close as I'm going to probably get to an Imperial Aquila. The mash of different building styles, of block layouts, and the use of the new tough blocks in this area really brings it together as this sort of mishmash of just broken down, forgotten buildings, and with the wooden bridges and things like that nipping over the big chasm down here with the lighting effect below with the glass. It really gives this dank and dark look that I was going for. And if we take a moment to just disable the shaders, we can see it with the vanilla level of lighting that it was originally designed to have. Now that we've got the shader packs turned off, you can see where the pipe work and things like that just fade down into the darkness below of the big trench. And it really brings it all together, just disappearing away into who knows how deep the cavern is below. I mean, eventually if I go all the way down here, I do hit an ancient city, but we're not going all the way down yet. We're not at the point where we're going to be releasing wardens in the city. But this leads us on to the very edge of what we've built so far. And we just peek behind the curtain briefly to get an idea of where this building is going to go. More specifically, up behind me, as we get the winding roads and tunnels moving from this area of the hive up into some of the higher levels, or potentially even lower down into the depths of the underhive. But the underhive is definitely a future project, because I have ideas, and they're going to be, well, a little chaotic. But we'll get to that in the future. The main drag through, or the grand processional way, is one of the areas that I think I am honestly most proud of, because it blends in so nicely all these different building styles, the much darker, the dank and grimy areas, the holographic statue that we've got going up here, as well as some of just the random bits that I've added in just because honestly they were really quite pretty, such as the Allay holding pen in the geode in there. And we've even got these back areas where we've got the chicken farm hidden within the silo, the honey farm hidden within this little building here, and this view off out over the hive with the walls stretching up to the ceiling and these big bits of pipe work going on. And of course we have the aquarium with our axolotl collection hidden up here behind this horrible leaking pipe which goes all the way down to what will eventually be the Undercity below us. And this little building, which I think is one of my favourites, because it has the cute little servitor inside, because this is the Servo Skull Factory, showing the various stages of making the little servo skulls that are floating around the city. And we do have a data pack that I'm going to bug Rexy again to try and install, where my good friend Bakura made a custom model using the texture of that particular servo skull over there that can be mapped over the allays, so we can potentially actually have some servo skulls floating around the city, which would just be amazing. And then of course we have the conveyor belt showing the skulls of the librarians, the adepts being turned slowly into the completed servo skulls, zapped inside the processor, and here getting their little robot arms. This little guy out here with his sound effects represents one of the things that I really want to continue adding into this build. Having the little hidden sculpt triggered sensors underneath various areas to just add in that little bit of sound effect, so as you're running through the city it triggers these sounds. And of course, you know, when I actually try to trigger them it won't work, so let's just oh no, there we go, it was just taking a break on my time. But I just want to add these little things in. Thank you for proving the point. Just to add a little bit of interactivity, another level of interest and detail into the build totally. Running down here underneath the aquarium, we have some of the hidden ways going into the back ends of the world. And I highly suspect this is possibly a little thing that Rexy has done, leaving all of these doors open, because, you know, I don't check. But these are the back workings of some of the things that we have going on down in the lower area with the super smelter. And we've got this little walkway, these little flashing lights and things like that. Again, this is just a flashing observer triggered by a Warthog skulk sensor on the other side. So it just provides that little bit of animation of detail as you're running down this area as we go into the first area that we built, which is the super smelter area with its bright glowing furnaces behind this array here, as well as the input to the sorting system down here and the output coming up with all the empty shulker boxes returning into that chest there. Of course, you can't escape the sounds of the bubble vapors, but you know, if you get that close, it's fun. We have examples of all the different building styles and things like that that we've added into this area. This dark, brooding, overbearing look, which really, when you've got these shaders on and it picks out these light areas to be so bright, it just gives it a whole other feel walking around here. And I went for this close, pressing in feel with these very tall, thin look of these buildings, just to really give the impression of how small you are running around with all these giant buildings looming over you. But next, I think we're gonna go and have a look at the storage portion of the build. If we dash down this way over the lava pit and towards these iron doors, we get to the storage area. And first of all, I'm going to have a look at the project room, because I'm so happy with this build. It just provides a little bit of what I'm referring to as mid-storage area between this and the main sorting system, because in each of these little chests and areas we have the various blocks of the little project that I happen to be working on at this particular moment, divided up so I can quickly come in, grab a shulker box, grab a few copper bits, whatever I happen to be working on at the moment, and just dash out, do the work, throw it all back into the shulker box, come back in and lob it in here for when I'm working on those individual little bits. And then when the project's done, I can take the shulker box, throw it into the input for the sorting system, and it'll all get filtered away. That's kind of the main purpose of this room, as well as just to look very visually nice, if I, say so myself, because I just love these coppery textures, and using the shaders in this case, where you've got the darkness of the chains and the deep slate with this patterning on the roof and the oranges of the copper and the lanterns, it just brings it all together. Next, we want to go into the sorting system proper, and that is going to involve coming round here and dropping down these bubble vapors just behind me. Walking along this processional way, we get to what is possibly my favourite build for the entirety of the base so far. And I know I'm probably going to get comments from various people, Rexy and Sunny in particular, saying how this sorting system still, after many, many months, isn't fully operational yet, because there are a large number of areas that currently don't have items that are ready to be filtered yet. But for the bulk storage of things that I need, like the stone, the andesite, the deep slate, things like that, some woods and that sort of thing, as well as a lot of granite. I've used a lot of granite in this build. It works. It's got everything I need, and plus, can you really argue when it looks just like this? I'm so very happy with it. It's so pretty. Running out of the sorting area into the smelting district again. These light shafts as they come down through the roof are just beautiful. This is why I love enabling shaders every now and again, because you just get to see areas of your base like this just in a different light, That was a terrible pun. I absolutely apologize for that. Just beautiful. And that'll take us round into this close, narrow street as we go down through here. Hi! It's been a while, Andy. Have you missed me? I've disabled the shaders again so we can get a nice look at the closeness of this little alleyway coming through here, as well as just the general look that I was going for with the roof and just the oppressive feeling of coming through these narrow little areas, but also all of the things going on around us, the different colours, the lights, the images from the posters, the banners and things like that. It all comes together to just add this chaotic nature to the layout of the city. And of course, we have the little servitor station at the end here, waiting to provide you with all your, medical needs. The Medicare servitor does lead us on to the next area that I am going to begin to develop, which is the carnival area of the town. And you can see I've got set up here laid out in wireframe a continuation of that narrow way through that will eventually get to this wall and open up out into this more built up area where we're going to have towering buildings, again creating that oppressive, closed in, claustrophobic feeling, looping round through various little alleyways and things like that before you eventually come to what is going to be the Colosseum here, with a big ring wall surrounding the outside of it and a way in to where you're eventually going to be reaching the amphitheatre and the brawling pit in the middle. But these are projects that I am slowly working on, and now we are back on RelaxedCraft. I'm going to throw myself into them again because there is so many little projects that I am itching to start and get going with. And once I start throwing down the blocks for areas like this, it's just going to come together so quickly. And honestly, going back and playing on the more vanilla servers without these blocks, I've missed the copper blocks so much. Well, actually, maybe not the cost of the copper blocks, but we'll see what happens in future updates with those, because there may be changes afoot if, some of the things the Minecraft devs have said is true. We'll see. I want cheaper copper trapdoors. We need cheaper copper. No, not getting into this again. No, we're not. We're not getting into this again. Got a whole video on me ranting about copper trapdoors. I'm not doing it here. I'm not. I'm just not. Running back through the streets of the Hive, taking in all of the different areas, things like that. It just makes me want to get back to building, adding more in, stretching the walls up to the ceiling so we can enclose this entire area. And now, with the Strawman mod, it is going to allow us to add in so much more detail. I've got this little statue here, but now I can actually make a statue that looks like a Space Marine, like an Imperial hero, like the God Emperor himself. Although, to be honest, I think I'll probably keep this one as well. There is so many things still left to do in the Hive City, and this is an absolute passion project of mine. As long as I have played Minecraft, right back from the very start of Minecraft, I have wanted to build a Hive City. I remember way back when building the outsides of a Hive City from cobblestone and stone. It was your wonderful basic mud hut equivalent, but I wanted to make one, and now 10, 12 years later, whatever it is, I've got this. This is why I love Minecraft. This is how I love building. It just allows you to bring those images in your head out into this wonderful, this beautiful pixelated world. And as long as I keep playing Minecraft, I'm gonna keep trying to create these things like this. And I hope you'll be along for the ride with me. But for now, goodbye everyone. I'll see you again.